I never thought I'd find myself sitting alone on a Friday night, surrounded by toys, crayons, and the faint smell of macaroni noodles stuck to the carpet. But that's exactly where I was. I'm Adrian, 38, and my wife, Serena, had asked me to watch our 3-year-old daughter, Isla, so she could go out and have fun. She didn't say fun with friends. She didn't say dinner with her sister. No, she was going out with another man. I didn't know the guy's name, and honestly, I didn't care. The thought itself made something inside me tighten. We've been married for 10 years. In the beginning, Serena was electric. Sharp, funny, independent. She had this energy that could fill a room without trying. I was quieter, methodical. I liked the routine. I liked building stability. I worked in IT consulting, and I took pride in providing. Bills, groceries, weekend plans, little trips, school events for Isla. I handled it all because I wanted to make our life smooth. And for the first few years, it worked. We laughed. We flirted in the grocery aisle. She left me little notes in my laptop bag. We had that spark. Then, somewhere around year 6, the spark began to dim. It wasn't explosive, not at first. It was subtle. She'd come home from work, tired, curled up on the couch with her phone. I'd ask about her day, and she'd give one-word answers, her eyes never leaving the screen. Hugs were shorter, kisses were quick pecks on the cheek. Nights together became rare, and the conversations we used to have vanished. I tried to give her space, thinking maybe she needed it. Maybe she was stressed. But the thing is, the more space I gave, the further she drifted. Tonight, as I set Isla up with her favorite cartoon, I replayed her words in my head. I just need a night out, Adrian. You handle bedtime. I'll be back late. Just a night out. Those words sounded innocent enough, but in the silence of our living room, they echoed like a judgment. Like she was saying, without saying it, that she needed someone else to entertain her, to fill a space I could no longer reach. I sat on the floor, cross-legged, watching Isla carefully color inside the lines of a unicorn picture. She looked up at me, smiling with her baby dimples, and asked, "Daddy, why mommy go night-night?" I forced a smile, the kind that hides everything, and said, "Mommy has to see a friend, sweetie. She'll be back soon." The words tasted bitter in my mouth. Not bitter because of Isla, never because of Isla. Bitter because I knew that friend wasn't a friend. I thought back to the years we shared, the mornings where she'd brush my hair back while I made coffee, the weekends spent building blanket forts for Isla, the way she used to laugh at my corny jokes in the supermarket. All of it felt like a lifetime ago. I wondered, when did it stop being enough? When did I stop being enough? I wasn't asking for grand gestures, fireworks, or constant attention. I only wanted acknowledgement, a little affection, a feeling that I mattered. I tried not to think about him, the man she was seeing. Not his face, not his laugh. I refused to give him any space in my head. And yet, I could feel him there, sitting invisibly beside her, the ghost of someone who had what I used to have. Hours passed. Isla eventually drifted to sleep on the couch, her head on a pillow I'd fluffed for her. I didn't move her. I sat there, staring at the ceiling, counting the seconds until Serena's return. My mind replayed every small rejection, every shrug, every "I'm tired" that had slowly chipped away at our connection. Each one felt like a brick removed from the foundation of our marriage. And tonight, the foundation felt almost entirely gone. When the front door finally clicked open, I didn't rush to greet her. I stayed seated, my hands resting on my knees, my chest heavy. Serena came in, smiling, carrying the faint scent of perfume and something else I didn't want to name. She kissed my cheek, casually, like nothing had changed. "Thanks for handling Isla," she said. Her tone was light, breezy, careless. No guilt, no hesitation. I nodded, my voice steady but hollow. "Sure, I kept her safe. She slept well." She glanced around, noticing the half-eaten snacks and the scattered crayons. "Looks like you did a great job," she said. Then she went to the bedroom, closed the door, and I sat there, in the living room, feeling every inch of my invisibility. I thought about my options. I could explode, demand answers, scream, beg, plead. But that's not who I am, and honestly, I think she'd expect it. Instead, I chose quiet. The kind of quiet that holds weight. The kind of quiet that says, without words, that enough is enough. I realized that the person I was fighting to impress, the one I'd sacrificed mornings and weekends and peace of mind for, was no longer there. Or maybe she was, but only in form, not in feeling. I picked up Isla's blanket, folded it neatly, and placed it on the couch. Then I moved to the kitchen, made myself a cup of tea, and sat at the counter. I thought about the years of compromise, of effort, of giving without receiving. I thought about every time I brushed aside my pride, my frustration, my quiet hurt, for the sake of keeping things calm. And suddenly, it hit me. I wasn't failing. I wasn't weak. I wasn't unworthy. I was simply done giving my heart to someone who no longer valued it. When Serena finally emerged from the bedroom, I didn't look at her. I didn't accuse. I didn't even ask questions. I simply stood, collected my coat, and said, "I'm going out." No argument. No dramatic gesture. Just clarity. She blinked, momentarily taken aback, and then smiled in that casual, indifferent way that had haunted me for years. "Where?" she asked. "Somewhere I need to be," I said, and I walked past her, past the hallway that had once echoed with our laughter, past the dining table where we'd celebrated anniversaries, past the living room where Isla had learned to walk, to the door. I felt lighter with each step, not because I was happy, not because I was vindictive, but because I was reclaiming myself. The weight of her indifference, her secret nights out, her silent disregard, was no longer mine to carry. Outside, the air was crisp, and for the first time in months, maybe years, I felt awake in a way I hadn't before. My mind was sharp, clear, focused. Not on her, not on him, on me, on the life I wanted to build, with Isla on my terms. I realized that staying would have been the slow death of my dignity. Leaving, in contrast, felt like the first breath of freedom. I drove aimlessly for a while, letting the city lights blur past, letting the quiet sink in. I didn't call a friend. I didn't make plans. I didn't need to. I was content in my solitude, in the space that was finally mine again. I thought about Isla, asleep back in the living room, dreaming of unicorns and fairies, blissfully unaware of the complexities adults create. And I smiled softly, because at least one thing in this life, one thing that truly mattered, was safe. I returned hours later to find the house quiet, Serena asleep, oblivious to the storm she'd stirred and the clarity she'd inadvertently gifted me. I tucked Isla in properly this time, kissed her forehead, and whispered a promise I'd keep, that her father would always be there, steady, unshakable, and unbending. That no one's disregard could erase the love I had for her, or the integrity I carried within myself. Sometimes, love isn't about staying when it's hard. Sometimes, it's about knowing when it's time to leave. And tonight, I left, not out of anger, not out of spite, but with a sense of peace I hadn't felt in a decade. A quiet, steady peace that said, without doubt, that I mattered. And that was enough.